Hello, Tiger fans, and welcome to Raw Vision Review for Round 7. And today joining us is Richmond superstar midfielder Trent Cotchin. Cotchy, how are you?
Thanks, Brownie.
3 wins in a row. Must be a really good feeling around the club at the moment because it's been a while since you've done that.
Yeah, it is. Compared to last year, I think we had our first win in round 8 or 9, so the pressure was on last year. It's nice to get a few wins under the belt early, obviously having a pretty good scalp against Freo last week.
Now, I saw you kicked, I think it was, you ran away with it in the last quarter, a 49-point win in the end. How good was the feeling? Because it's been a long time since Richmond has kicked off in the last quarter like that against good opposition.
Yeah, I still think the game was pretty tight at three-quarter time, but to come out and I think we controlled the tempo of the game earlier in the fourth quarter, which is probably a pretty good thing for a young side. It doesn't happen that often. And then we sort of just turned it on and took it right up to them and really ran over the top of them, which was a really nice feeling not to have the pressure of chasing and the defensive pressure.
Yeah, it looked good. You had a massive duel with Matthew Pavlich, one of the game's elite players, and pretty much came out on top. You kicked 4 goals yourself, and what was that duel like?
Yeah, it was challenging. Pav's obviously a superstar, and the size of his body in the midfield's always hard to stop, especially when you've got Sandilands hitting the ball to him. So I think he had 33-odd possessions, which obviously was outnumbering to me, but getting forward to the ball and kicking a couple of goals was really nice for me, and it's been something I've been focusing on over the last few weeks. So it was probably an even contest, even though I had a couple of extra goals on top of him.
Yeah, probably got the points there, I reckon. Cotchy, don't be shy about it. He's a good player. You've got to take your scalps. Now, spread of goal kickers. Last year, very Jack Rewald focused. Played very well this year again, Jack. But you kicked 4. Dusty Martin's been kicking goals. Jake King. Real spread of goal kickers. How important is that?
Yeah, I think that was a focus for the coaching staff earlier in the season. Damien Hardwick spoke to Danny Daly about trying to get some midfielders in the forward line at times throughout the game. Obviously, we've seen Nahas and Dusty kicking bags in the last few weeks. Shane Edwards gets forward of the ball at the right time and works hard. So it's been really important for us. Obviously, Jack being a real focus up there, and even Ty kicked a 3 or 4 on the weekend as well. So it just makes it harder for opposition teams to shut down our one avenue to goal.
Damien Hardwick loves the spread of goal kickers, and this is what he had to say after the game at the press conference.
Look, the positive was the spread of goal kickers once again, which is obviously been highlighted this year. But I think Cochin 4, Nahas 4, Jack chips in with his 4. It's been a really positive experience for us this year. Obviously last year we relied solely on Jack, so to get that spread of goal kickers has been a real positive for us this year. And probably the other one is a lot of our, like Dusty had a quiet game and Brett Deledio did too, but they battled through and made a real solid contribution in the last quarter to help get us over the line.
You're starting to get a real elite group in the midfield. How good is it to play with those guys, and how close are you?
Yeah, we are becoming really tight. We know exactly the way each other play. We're trying to get each other involved in the game. A couple of focus areas for us has been our contested footy and clearances. They're still down for the season. So considering that there's I suppose, in the outer, a lot of people think that we are a good midfield, but there's a lot of areas that we need to focus on in the coming weeks, especially against 2 top sides in the Bulldogs and Essendon.
Well, one good thing about having such a good midfield is you got tagged the week before against Andrew Rains, and Dusty got out of the loop. He got kicked 35 touches, and then this week he got tagged by Dabua, and let other midfielders get out of the loop and play some good footy.
Yeah, I think that's the key. I mean, you look at a Collingwood and they've just got a number of players that each week get the tagged player, and I suppose it's just harder to match up on as a midfield. Someone gets out of the loop and has an impact on the game, which is what we're aiming to be able to do.
And it must help the midfield with the inclusions of Basher Hooley, who's been fantastic. Griggy's been really good from round 1, and also Robbie Nahas. The last 4 weeks running up through the midfield and kicking goals has been terrific.
Yeah, the impact they've had on the side and the structure that they fit into. Bash has played a little bit forward and back. They've been fantastic, and I think Bash even kicked a couple of goals on the weekend from halfback. So even better that they're getting on the end of a few as well.
You spoke about Jake Batchelor. I watched him pretty closely on the weekend. Really good left foot, got some really good poise, and something we've lacked over the years at Richmond is some really good kicks by foot, and he's a real find.
Yeah, I think for such a young player, the composure he shows coming out of half-back, obviously got a number of good players down there, but he just fits in so well, especially with the Tools that have been playing really well. It just helps us. He wins the ball at ground level and shows the composure and allows us to start playing our game style.
Well, here's what young gun Jake Batchelor had to say after the game.
Oh, the mood's fantastic this morning. Everyone's up and about. We're pretty happy with the win last night, obviously against a top 4 potential side. So we're pretty happy with how we went. They took it to us in the first and second, even third quarter in the end, and we stood to the challenge and we kept fighting to the end of the game, which made everyone that even bit happier. Yeah, definitely. The more games that we get into the core playing group, we're starting to learn how each other play, our strengths, our weaknesses, and we try and work together to just give ourselves the best chance to improve. And I think we're doing that a lot. Yeah, it gives us that extra bit of confidence that we know if we stick to the structures, our game plan, that if we keep doing all the right things, it will pay off. We try to stick to our own game plan more than we do a bit of opposition analysis, but we still try and play our own game, take the game on through the middle. We try and just a lot of speed and skills through the corridor. Yeah. Oh yeah, it is fantastic. But as you said before, it's only round 7, so we still got 15, 16 rounds to go. So we're just going to keep taking every week as it comes, I guess. Yeah, definitely. They're a finals team, definitely without a doubt. So it's definitely not going to be an easy match. So we're just going to have to do what we did last night and take it up to them.
A couple of opposition coaches have commented on how much the Richmond fan make noise, how important they are to you. Do you hear them out in the ground? Because the Brisbane game, there wasn't that many fans there, but geez, they made a lot of noise.
Yeah, they are. They're very loud, and it's fantastic, especially coming into a last quarter. I mean, we were real close for probably the last 2 games, and they almost get you over the line, just the raw noise they put out. I think there was 30-odd thousand the last 2 weeks, and it feels like there's 60 when you're up and about. So it's fantastic, and hopefully we can continue getting them there to the games.
And from the wash-up from the weekend's game, what does Damien think you need to work on, and what's the focus on this week?
Contested footy is definitely an area we have to focus on. It's probably the reason why we're not starting games as well as we'd like to. Obviously, just to continue playing defensive structures that we've been focusing on. It's obviously one of the most important parts of the game now, as much as putting the scoreboard pressure on is a focus for us. It's more so the defensive stuff. So they'll probably be our 2 focus areas: winning the hardball and contested footy, and obviously the defensive setup.
2 massive weeks coming up. You've got the Bulldogs, who have had the wood over us for a while, but are just teetering, maybe going backwards a bit, and then the Bombers, who are on fire. This could really set up your season and entrench you in the top 8.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to the challenge. Obviously, Fremantle being probably our best scalp for the year so far, and the Bulldogs and Essendon are obviously up and about and in the top part of the ladder. So we're really looking forward to the exciting challenges ahead. Obviously, need to put our best foot forward and not get complacent.
Kochi, it's good to see you playing really good footy, because you've had a lot of injury problems at the start. You had a good pre-season, the first full pre-season you've done, and it's just great to see him playing good footy.
Thank you very much, Brownie.
There's Trent Cotchin, Richmond superstar, and he's only going to get better as the year goes on. So thanks for joining us today on Raw Vision Review. We'll see you next week.